Well, hello, Mr. Henry Thomas.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I gotta maybe say thanks for decades worth of entertainment. So thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Thanks for watching and thanks for having me on.
No, of course. Your latest film, High Ground, it's packed with action and intensity. I actually watched it twice. I loved it that much. So first off, I have to ask, what drew you to this project, and what excited you most about playing this character of yours?
Well, I liked it because I read the script and I was like, wait, is this a Western? It felt like it's a classic Western story set in, relatively modern times. Uh and the character was cool because I don't get a chance to play a lot of tough guys and guys pulling the trigger. I'm usually on the other end of the gun. So I thought, oh, that'll be fun, and it would be fun to play a guy with a past who, is trying to do good now. Because, if we didn't have that, if my character wasn't sort of like a holy warrior guy, he would have just been a rat, and it would have been a totally different movie. It'd be cowering in the cell and crying a lot and saying, "Let me out, let me out." Like maybe a role that I did in my 20s, but now that I've gotten older, I can play the haggard former crime lord.
Yeah, no, great character, great little arc there too. And you've worked across so many, genres throughout your career. And you kind of talked about it a little bit in your previous answer. It is like a modern Western, but like, how does High Ground stand out compared to the other thrillers you've been part of? And do you find yourself drawn to now this type of role? Do you love it now to be this type of character, or do you enjoy mixing it up?
Well, I love mixing it up just because it kind of keeps you on your toes, I think, and it's fun. You don't feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over again, which like crying and cowering in the cell was a thing that I did over and over again. I think for a few years, but now, uh, it's exciting to have a chance to let people see me, maybe think of me as characters like that, kind of broadens up your work potential, I think.
No, I mean, you've done so many great pieces of work, and this is one of them. And to be honest, I love this cast, and I always love seeing Jon Voight in films, especially the past few years. He's such a legend, incredible career, and I'm lucky enough to have a great professional relationship with him, interviewing him several times. Great guy. So, what is it like seeing him continue to work at such a high level? I mean, at his age, I mean, he is awesome at it still to this day.
He's great, and he's physically he's very spry and mentally very very quick, and it's great to see. It's very life affirming. um you know I only hope that I can be doing the same thing, in 20, 30 years. Yeah.
I see that happening. I definitely see that happening for you. And this
The skin suit lasts me that long. I hope so.
Indeed. And we talked about it. It does feel like this is a modern Western. I love the look and feel. We don't see films like this, to be honest. So I just got to know, like, do you have your own favorite classic Western that you grew up loving?
Oh, sure. Yeah, man. Like The Searchers, that's one of the tops, but also like Outlaw Josie Wales, and of course like Good, Bad, and the Ugly, or High Plains Drifter. All of those. Even it's not really a Western, but like Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I love that. There's so many good ones. But I mean, I would love to do Westerns like full time. Like I was born in the wrong time for the superhero thing. Like I would have, because I've done a few Westerns, and like that's the most fun I've ever had on movies, like riding horses and shooting guns. And I mean, it's a lot of fun.
It's a genre we don't see much anymore. And I just spoke to my good friend Casper Van Diemen. He loves Westerns as well. So maybe y'all need to link up and do a movie together, you and Casper.
Yeah. I see Casper sometimes at conventions. So I'll pull him aside.
Let's do it. That was my idea, by the way. So I'm going to take credit for that. The next team up. And you've worked with so many legendary directors, and specifically you've collaborated multiple times with Mike Flanagan, who is just a genius. So I wanted to know, what do you enjoy most about working on his projects?
Well, Mike always has a very, very good script. It's always really clever, and the story is very interesting, and I love a good story. That's pretty much the key focus of mine when I read a script. If I like it, because like writing, of course, if it's well written, that's great. But writing can be fixed. Other elements can be fixed. A director will bring a certain thing, but at the heart of it, a story is key. And if you have a good story, I believe you have a good end product. So I think Mike comes in always with a good story, and the characters are always there on the page, with opportunities for the actors. So as an actor, it's a challenge, and it's fun because Mike, he likes actors, and he likes seeing what they bring to his characters. But he does have a very, very strict vision of how he wants things done. So I think some actors thrive under that, and some actors are kind of resistant to it, but you all get sorted out pretty quickly, I think.
No, he's brilliant. I love everything he does. I'm super excited to see what happens with his Clayface movie that he wrote. I'm
excited about that.
He hasn't told you anything about that?
No, I haven't heard much from him since Fall of the House of Usher. But he's been busy, and I think it's good.
Yeah, no, you've been busy too, and High Ground, is a great modern Western thriller, some twists and turns, and I just love the whole cast in general. Lastly, I do have to ask you an ET question, but it might be different than what you're used to. Every time I go to Universal Studios, I immediately head to ET the ride. It just transports me back to a time that the movie history that feels so rare today. I don't know how to explain that weird feeling when I get on it. But have you ridden that ride as well? I'm assuming you have.
So I was one of the first, if not the first person to ride that through. It was Steven Spielberg, Dee Wallace, and myself in 1990 when the ride opened. I was at the opening for the park and for the studio there.
And have you ridden it since then?
No, I have not ridden it since then.
Well, I ride it every time I go, and it just gives me goosebumps. Like I said, it transfers me back to a time. And what do you think that ride captures such a special moment in film history? And I'm so happy that's still around.
Yeah, I mean, they've attempted to get rid of it a few times, and they used to have the one in Los Angeles as well, and they've gotten rid of that. So
you got to go to Orlando. They have it for now, but hoping it stays.
One in Florida, but every time there's a public outcry, because I think, like you, a lot of people, it has a nostalgic place in their heart, because it's like the film, it's the same thing, like it becomes like a connotation of itself, because people remember it in a different way. They remember it as the film they saw with their grandmother for the first time in the theater, or that they went to with their mom or dad, and it becomes like a part of their childhood.
That ride's super special, and I really hope it captures every moment. I just get goosebumps every time I do it, and I just love it that it says your name at the very end as you're riding.
Yeah, I used to get that wrong a lot, right?
I think it still does, but I think that's the fun part of it too, depending what type of name you have. That's the beauty of it. No, but Henry, it was a pleasure to finally meet you. I'm looking forward for more from you. More Westerns from you is going to happen. I know for sure.
Yeah, I would love for that to happen, but whatever it is, thanks for watching. I appreciate you.